are now tuned in to the hottest barber podcast, C's Barber Talk, with your host, the one and only C. All Barber Talk. We talk about hottest clippers, best products. Let's go.
What is up, everybody? This is your boy C, also known as C Got Fades on Instagram. I got a special guest with me. You know, we're gonna change it up. Yesterday's interview was a whole different level. It was out of my range of what I've been doing. So, you know, if you watched yesterday, it was kind of, you know, you seen my struggles through there, man, because it wasn't going like I wanted to go. But we're gonna start over. This is my second podcast on my YouTube channel. This is episode 17 on my podcast, and I got a special guest, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is a Jose Barber, otherwise known on Instagram as Cuts by Jose.
Cuts by Jose.
Yep, I'm coming all the way from San Jose, California, baby.
Yeah, you're not too far from me. I'm Stockton.
Nah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
just right over the hill, right?
Yeah, no. What I was gonna say is, I got introduced to you by one of your boys. Hit me up like, you gotta get him on. You gotta get Jose on. So I looked him up. I looked you up, and I was like, oh yeah, where did he come from? You know, so. I went through your Instagram page, and I like what you're doing, and you're also teamed up with Wall, right?
Yep, absolutely, yeah. So I've been with Wall now, coming up on, this is my third year, coming up on 4 years now. So
okay.
It's been definitely a kind of a cool ride, but I mean, like you said, it was just kind of like it happened. So here you are, man.
Yeah. So,
but
go ahead.
No, so Bobby V, this all happened because we were just kind of hanging out and just talking about it, and he was just like, "Yo, you need to hit up my boy C." So here we are, like a week later, right? It's about a week ago.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate you, man. To
no
even writing me back, And so I mean, we started off with Let's start it off with when did you become a barber?
All right, so when I became a barber, I started in school back in like 2012. I picked up a pair of clippers when I was like 12. Cut it around. We used to cut each other's hair back in the 90s. I mean, I'm kind of old, but back in the 90s, we used to do like the two on top, and then we used to have like the bowl cut. And we started cutting, like that. And then from then on, it just kind of just was on the back burner. I did a whole bunch of other things, joined the military, did all that stuff. And then so by the time when I got out of that, it was 2008, 2009. And so I was just trying to figure out what I was going to end up doing, and ended up just getting into barber school, kind of following down that road. So.
Yeah. So what branch did you serve in?
So I was in the Army, bro. I was in the Army from 2003 to 2008.
Oh, okay. Thank you for your service, man. I had another guy on here, Sean from Colombia, I want to say. I get those mixed up, but he was in the Marines too. So thank you guys for your guys' service, man. I appreciate that. But going back to what was stuck out to me, what was funny is when you said the bowl cut, the two on top. I had a cousin, man, and I needed a haircut. I was young. He actually threw an actual bowl on my head and cut around it with a zero down. Boy, I was hurt. I looked in the mirror. I was like, but a good thing I wear hats a lot, so it looked fresh with the hat on. But
from the hat on, yeah.
Yeah. So we cuts.
Yeah, we used to. I remember when I was like 16, we used to go to school and we used to like buzz it all down and then slam it back with a gel and a hairspray.
Some three flowers.
Nah, actually, it was after that because we wanted it slick back. It was only like a 2 on top, so it's like a 1/4 inch.
Oh, that's true.
So we like blow dry it back and put the beanie on, and then like slap it back, and then that was our style. But yeah, man, we used to use a rubber band. We used to use like a rubber band to make sure the line was straight, and then that's how we started fading.
That's a good way, yeah.
Yeah, so we used to put the rubber band and then bring the zero all the way up to the rubber band, and then take it off, and then start fading the line out from there. That's how we started cutting.
Okay.
So
did it come naturally to you as a learning cuts? Because I'm sure at the time you didn't have an outlet to turn to, such as YouTube and things like that. Now a lot of barbers these days have that outlet of watching other YouTube channels. And I know your era coming up, you didn't have that opportunity.
Yeah, we kind of. I did really want to learn a lot of the different haircuts. I mean, I guess it all depends on the school that you're at as well, right? Like the people that you're in the school with, you know what I mean? That kind of either kind of motivates you or it kind of takes you away from it, you know, what the other people are doing in there. So I feel like the people that I was around with, the other barbers that I'm still friends with, that we still kick it with and go to shows. Like I just went to a show with my boy and we went to a show in Japan. And like it was just a hair show and like we had some fun, but like I think it was just the people around you that really inspires you to kind of want to learn every little thing, you know, more like instead of just learning how to fade, like people want to learn the other things that they're seeing on YouTube and stuff. Like when I was coming up, there was a lot of YouTube already coming on and going, and some of the barbers, they did go to YouTube, some of them we didn't, but like again, it was just a mixture and we all kind of bounced back to ourselves. So I guess we all kind of learned together, and by doing that, like we were able to grasp it all at the same time because we were able to explain it to each other in different ways. So I guess
yeah, that's true too. That you just go off your environment of, you know, who's in the school.
Absolutely. So I have to give it up to everybody that was part of our school. You know, there were some people that were going crossover, you know, at the time, and one of those guys, he ended up being one of the places that I ended up working at later on. But I mean, like those guys were professionals in the industry going back for the crossover. So the barbers that I was at, like we went to school in San Jose, and some of the barbers that I was with, they were coming from Soledad, they're coming from Salinas, from Greenfield, from Hollister. So they were coming to get their license. And so like these dudes were motivated. So they were really trying to kind of
they weren't there for no games. They were there to get that shit done and get up out
yeah,
of it
exactly.
too, you know?
Yeah, you know, like they're having to drive. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, but as far as like the cuts, it was easy for us because of that reason, because we had different people that were able to kind of explain it in different ways and show us, you know, we're like, hey, well, that didn't work for this dude. So anyways, it was just that process, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, see,
it made it easier.
well, in my thing though, when I entered barber college, you know, I wasn't a barber yet. I was just, I was trying to make my career more better, what I was doing, you know. So when I entered barber college, I didn't know nothing about any type of hairstyles or anything, you know. I'm from Stockton, you know, I'm from the hood. All we know is one on top, zero on the sides. So,
right,
you know, that's all we know. So,
yeah.
You know, I'm thinking that's how it's going to be going into barber college. Like, just I'll shoot the one in the zero, and that's good. Man, you get it into this barber game, man. It's a whole different style. And you got to learn everything, and it's hard. You know, a lot of people think, you know, because a lot of people coming from the garages that want to get their license, they're only doing two type of haircuts: a fade and a taper. You know. So once you get into the shop and someone comes in and say, I want layers on top, you got to be ready to learn, man, because it's not just about one on top or a taper, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man. And I was actually pretty lucky to kind of go down the path that I went down. And, you know, I had some good people on that path, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So it was just kind of like, they kind of show you along the way too. Like the first shop that I ended up at, I was lucky enough to be able to work with a guy with a barber who's been in the game for like 50 years. So he was just an old barber. Yeah. So he would just show me like some little small tips on like how to hold the mirror, or like he wasn't afraid to go up and be like, yo, you know, he'll grab the hair dryer and be like, hey, you need to blow dry this, or he'll kind of whisper things kind of in my ear. So a lot of people don't kind of get that, and that's just me being like, just me having luck. It's just lucky that I was able to kind of be around those people, you know, to be able to learn all that stuff.
And what made it probably easier too is you were ready to learn and listen. You weren't going in there like, I know what I'm doing, you know. And I tell a lot of barbers that are coming into this game, listen to your barbers around you that have been doing it. They're going to teach you stuff. Don't go in there thinking you're the shit, because you're going to get a run for your money, you know?
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right, man.
So I always preach that, man. Just have and that's what I had. I had an open ear coming into this. Like, I learned from everybody. I even go on YouTube and watch guys that are like 80 years old, where they only do, you know, the machine where it sucks the hair out, you know? Like,
yeah, that's old school, yeah.
And it's just, to me, because I gained to love this industry, man. I gained to love being a barber. And me, I like going beyond it. I like to see where it started from, what they were doing in the 70s, 60s. And, you know, and I like to look at that and kind of put it in what I do already. And, you know, and such as the hot towel, you know, I throw that in every cut I do. And I don't charge extra. I don't charge extra because back then they didn't. That came with the cut. It wasn't.
That was a service.
It was a service. It wasn't. Let me charge you another $25 just to put a hot towel. No, they didn't do that back then. So why do it now? And I feel like it only takes my hot towels right on my machine on my barber station. It's literally just here and here. So in 2 minutes of a hot towel service does wonders.
Absolutely.
I see my tips increase because I did that. Now, if you want to get into it and you want to do facials, then I'm going to charge then, But when it comes to the hot towel, barbers, man, if you're listening, do that service. It works. It's just, you're showing your client that you care for them, and it just takes 2 seconds of your time. Actually, you can actually check your phone while you have the hot towel on. So,
absolutely,
use that as
not anymore,
checking messages.
Not anymore. Now you got to sanitize your hands and all that stuff.
That's true. That's true.
That's but you used to be able to do that. Like, if you're running early, you're running late, right? Text your clients, like, hey, I'm running a little late, or hey, I'm, be another 10 minutes or so, or hey, man, I'm running early, go ahead and slide through. But I mean, it's gonna have to change up now.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff gonna change, man. But I think that it shouldn't even be a big change. We should have already been this clean already as barbers,
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. Like we're already held to a certain standard. And then on top of that, on, the little small stuff, like, your quad solution lid having to be closed, like little small things like, but there's some other things that they will have to adjust to. And I think that everyone has to be able to do it, or is going to be able to do it. It's just a matter of time before everything gets kind of set up. So,
but who woke my game up? It wasn't even the coronavirus that woke me up. It was way prior. About 3-4 years ago. I only been a barber for about 6 years now. When I first got into the game, we got hit by state board. Now that was the real coronavirus right there. Okay. They came in. They came in not playing around. I thought I was going back to jail when they came in. They don't play, man. And but it woke me up because you can't have hair around your gels. I didn't, at the time I didn't know that, but now I do. So I always wipe that down. Counter stay wiped. Phone can't even be on your stations, So now that's never on my station. I put that away. Just a lot of things that they had hit me with, because I got fined. I think I was up to almost $700 in fines on 4 things. And I'm like, God, I ain't going to let that happen again. So that kind of threw me. That was my coronavirus 5 years ago. So I always been clean since. And a lot of barbers, are panicking, but you guys should have been doing this when you got into the shop. And, barber schools should be teaching this too, man. So it shouldn't be a big issue,
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. And they actually do go through all that whole section in barber school. So
yeah, that shit was hard. That's why I remember that. That shit was hard to me.
I mean, the other thing too is like I teach and stuff like that. And we always kind of go around and like, I see a lot of stuff on like, on YouTube and things like that. And like, I'm not like, you have to read the containers, man. Like some of the containers when you're gonna spray and do all your stuff now to clean up. Like now, ever since even now, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you're gonna use a disinfectant, you make sure you have to leave it the time that it says on the back of the can. Mm-hmm. Like there's some of them that says 10 minutes, bro. Like if you're spraying it and they're putting it in your thing, hey, that ain't 10 minutes, bro.
That's true.
That's true. It's not.
Yeah,
and
I didn't even think of that.
And now instead of whatever it was on there, I'm the guy was named instead of it being like clean, now you're giving them wet, whatever it was, wet skin stuff. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like you have to let it sit.
Yeah. So you said, read the products on the back, because you spraying it directed to the head. You didn't even disinfect it. You just
it's just sitting
in a little pile, a little puddle of barber stuff
of whatever. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I just come in. You read all your stuff. You have to, and if you are going to use that stuff, you got to have more clippers, right? Like 2 or 3 clippers. Spray one down, and then after you have it all cleaned up, set it away, let it sit for that time, and then grab the other one right next to it. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with whatever product you're using. It's just, you just have to kind of adjust to make sure that you're doing it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, I haven't really been out. I've been stuck in my house. I've been staying here gardening, got hens and roosters and shit I never thought I would have. And I went out to Walmart the other day for the first time in a while, and it's just a whole different ball game out there, man. You got the cage, you got she was going around and wouldn't let no one, every client or every customer, she had to spray the whole belt down.
And wipe it all down.
Yeah, and I'm like, we're in a new time, man. It's gonna be a lot of big changes, you know, when it comes to hygiene and being clean. Now, you know, and I see a lot of these big barbers not crying, man. I shouldn't have said that, but you know, a lot of these people want these shops back open, and you know, there's two stories to. You know, there's two sides. I could see why people want to get back into the barbershop because all these, you know, movie theaters are opening up now and the malls. But I feel like let them be the guinea pigs, you know, let them see what happens to them. And then, you know, let's come back to now. Let's try to get the barbershop back open. Because I feel like once everything opens, I might not even go back right away. I think I might give it 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And but then I understand people can't wait because they are the head income of their family, so I understand that too. So.
I get you, and you know, and I agree with you, and I think that they should kind of stay closed for a little bit more, and it's simply because of the unknown, right? Like we don't know how it's gonna be, but I'm gonna take it away for a quick second though, and I'm gonna try to, you know, I think the main reason that I think that they should be closed and we shouldn't open until we hear from the state board. Like the state board has been entirely silent for California, and I mean, and I'm just going to speak for me and what I've heard. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I haven't heard anything from the people that I've spoken to. They all feel the same way. That the ones that there's probably some people out there that I haven't spoken to, but from the majority of the people that I've heard, a lot of barbers, like, they just haven't heard any of that. And so with that being said, like a lot of these things, like people are you know, asking you know, a way to open the shops back up and all these things. I feel like they're kind of approaching it in the wrong way. Like it should be like in a safety standard way, but I feel like the state board should be the ones that's facilitating all of this.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like let's be honest here, bro. Like it's a well-known secret that people are still cutting.
Yeah. Now,
right?
Now,
people are still cutting.
Yeah, the first week it was like, I ain't cutting. Now then I started seeing little people posting here and there. I'm like, okay. I'm like, now okay, I see where you're going. Down, fly.
Yeah, right. So right. Like it's people are still cutting. And why are they still cutting? Because people are still asking them for haircuts. So I feel like there's a need for people, like their arguments are valid. Like, there's essential people that need these haircuts, and a lot of people, like I cut a lot of, you know, people that work for the city or the, you know, police department and all that stuff. And, you know, for their argument is like, hey, I'm supposed to have my haircut for work because of my protective personal equipment, and like it's supposed to fit and mask, and you can't have your hair and whatever it is. Like they have their own reasons behind it. But like, isn't the state board like a part of the California like government? Like, shouldn't this be a contingency act? And like, shouldn't they have, and like, shouldn't you have, like, my question for them is like, if I could ask them, is like, like, why didn't you guys think of this before? Like you guys were formed back in 1920 something, and then everyone continues to quote this Spanish flu thing. Well, the Spanish flu was in 1918. So if you were formed in the 1920s, that was fresh still. So anyways, I'm kind of getting off of the whole thing, right? Yeah, like I'm getting off the whole point, but I mean, the reality is like, it's like the petitions and everything that everyone's trying to do to try to reopen again. Like they didn't care about the police and the fire department and the EMS getting cuts. You think they're going to care about a petition?
No. No. And that's what, why I sit back and I see that, and you know, like I say, man, I'm like, I know what I'm going to do, you know, even if the barbershop opens tomorrow, I won't be back until another week or two, just as, just to watch it play out.
Yeah. But now we have to admit, right, that there's some people that let's not say that don't care, like are courageous, right? Some people that just say, well, I'll be the one to actually do it. Let's say if the board actually did it, like the reality of the state board not communicating with the state health people, you know what I mean? Like that's the problem, I think, is the biggest problem.
You're 100% right.
And then from then.
You're 100% right. And I was going to say is because the state board has been quiet. They haven't said nothing, sent no letters out, sent no emails. They got everybody's email because when you get your barber license, you have to log into there. So there should be some type of communication with the barbering system, with the
absolutely
state board.
Yeah, but and then like some people even talked about like, hey, let's have this huge petition and send it to the governor and threaten him, like, we're not going to get him reelected, all this. But I'm like, dude, like, have you really even gone to look at the numbers of the population of barbers in California?
Yeah.
Can you guess how many barbers there are in the state of California right now, or as of December 2nd of 2019?
There's a handful of
There's
those.
There's only 600. There's only like 500 and something thousand, bro. Like 573,000 licensed people in the state, and barbers. So there's only no, not barbers, professionals. That's stylists, barbers, estheticians. From barbers, bro, there's only 33,000 of us with apprentices as of December of 2019. So like, you think we're gonna make? Anyways, I'm not trying to discourage people.
No, we ain't gonna make no noise.
Not by ourselves, right?
Yeah.
No,
and I know.
But but I mean, as far as like there's a way to take care of this, bro. You know what I mean? Like, there is a way for everyone to, like, if they don't like the state board, like, if you guys go to the website, there's only like 7 members of the board, bro. 7 members of the board, and only one of them is a barber. And all the other ones, like, seriously, bro, like, and only one of them is a barber. All the other ones are some, and then I think he's out of like Compton or something. But if you guys don't know
where we're coming from,
well, but here's the beauty of it, bro. The whole thing is that whoever is qualified enough, whoever wants to be able to do it, can apply to be part of the state board, and the governor is the one who appoints them. So like, instead of it seeing this as like a loss, or like, it should be a game changer of like people who really want to get into that, into like the politics of barbering, and have them step up and then ask them to be part of it. If they want to do it better, then they can propose it to do it better.
Yeah.
But I feel like if that has to be done, if people want to fill out petitions and things like that, I think that's the way that has to be done. It has to go down that road. You have to get onto the board. The people have to go to the meetings. There's 4 meetings a year. 2 of them in Sacramento, 1 in San Diego, and I think another one's somewhere out. But anyways, they're all over the place. But
yeah,
I mean, that's the real thing. And if you really wanted to get people to listen to you, like, there's only 7 people on the board, and there's 600,000 people that are registered. If you guys really wanted them to hear what you had to say, I'm pretty sure you guys can jump on that website, see all of their names, and find their contact info and email them directly. You know what I mean? Like,
it's that
and
easy.
That's something different. Yeah. It's that easy. Instead of like, making this hype on Instagram and all this other stuff, like, literally just go to the state, go to the website.
I feel like these people that are making noise that want to get us back, I just hope that it doesn't disappear, once this is over, because they have a strong follow base. They have us, we're following their lead. And, if they don't like the way things are being ran, even with state board, when this is all over, I feel like they better stick to it to get, answers, some of our questions answered, because we need those type of people in the state board, in the building,
Yeah, if that's what people want, that's what people have to do. You know what I mean? Like, and it has to be more of a unison thing. And I'll be honest with you, right now, there's a lot of barber organizations out there that could potentially lead or have somebody there to lead. But reality is, bro, that if they do end up stepping up to it, like, they have to basically step away from the organization that they're in, and then basically form another organization with everybody's input into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the whole changing of the regulations, bro, are gonna happen. We're gonna have to do things in our shops. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, that's what I believe. We're gonna have to do something. They're gonna want us to adapt to something, change something, right? And so, why not be part of that process to figure it out? That's what the governor said.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually said, and I wrote this down, bro. I have to find it, because what he said was true, bro. And I just kind of said, like, yo, where's the we at? He said, He says, we will have to learn how to reshape our physical environment, such as businesses, schools, and childcare facilities to support social to support the social distancing. But he said we, bro. Like, where's we at?
Yeah.
Like, where's we at? Like, we're the dudes in the shops. Like, we can easily help you establish or figure out how this is going to work or how it's going to look like. And if the board was there and actually was, could help the cities, right? Because essentially, like, a lot of people are getting hit up to do cuts, bro. And these people are like, work for the government, bro. They work for the, and we're doing it because they're our clients, right?
Yeah.
But like, yo, like, don't you see that was happening? Like, you're putting people like to risk their licenses because you guys can't come up with a plan to ensure that the local governments are up to standard. Like,
but still
so
want a
from
haircut.
that, well, it's not that they want, it's that they need, right? Because they have their masks and all that stuff that needs to fit. But they're trying to put it in that perspective, and I think everyone has to pull back. And then basically, like, I'd like to see, like, if I saw a petition that said, if I saw a petition that said, we want a petition for the governor to make asking for haircuts during this time illegal, bro, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna sign that, because it's like, yo, like, you're like, your people are doing it. So
no, that's true.
But again, anyways, it's neither here nor there, bro. It's you're right. I hope people have that same kind of attitude when they come back, that same motivation, and it doesn't go away, because it seems like money fixes everything, right? Especially so as soon as everyone starts to get their money back again, starts coming up again, then everything will.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, right. Everyone seems to forget. So
and and I have actually Louie from Barber Society. She's gonna be joining me on Thursday.
Okay.
So she's all into that right now, and she's
definitely.
And she's kind of the one where I'm hoping she sticks with it, and once this is over, she can make some changes in the barber industry in the state.
Yeah, she's been doing it for a while.
Yeah,
she's been doing it a while, dude. I've seen her at shows. And she's been around for a minute, and she has that same, we should all be all together, and I agree with that. People need to kind of come to some sort of agreement and kind of look at the things that they have in common instead of the differences. You know what I mean? Like, but it should change, and if it doesn't change, then I think it's because we're too lazy to do it. I'll just be honest and flat out say it. It takes hard work for things to change. So
that's true, man.
And sometimes they hit the obstacles and people and like things, and sometimes it doesn't happen for a while. But I'm trying to support, do whatever we can do, from the education standpoint. Trying to get back into work, you know what I mean? It's cool to get back into the networking, the community of the barbers and stuff. So
I always say it's just a little break, man, because when we go back, we're gonna be busy as shit. I'll tell you that. So
absolutely, bro.
So enjoy the rest, man, and we're gonna get off this subject. I'm tired of talking about that.
Let's get talking about that. But
So what I want to know though, before you go on, because I really want to know, is how did you join Wall? How did you team with Wall?
All right, cool. So let me back up. Let's see. So I was cutting, from school, kind of did my thing there. Has to be 2016. I had already been doing education, like not doing it, but actually taking it. This all kind of started in school, like going back to school again, like my boy Cookie and my boy OD and all these, we all kind of started to teach each other, bro, like how we were saying before, helping each other out. So we always had that kind of community and stuff. And so we kind of used to network with everybody, man. Like we used to just go to shows. We went to Vegas to go to the exotic shows back in the day when Jay Majors was doing with Curtis Smith back in like 2000. I think it was 2013. Yeah. But so we used to go do all that stuff anyway. So 2016, I was working for another barber that's also in the education business, and so I started to kind of do classes with him, and just kind of through my networks, bro. I had met some of my business partner now, and we started to import products into China, bro. So he used to go into Hong Kong and into the Guangzhou and Shenzhen. And so out there, the barber game started coming up because I guess back in 2012, they opened up a lot of the restrictions in like China and Asia. And so
you couldn't cut out there?
Well, they could, but they didn't have they had everything extremely kind of blocked, bro. Like you couldn't really find or get the influence. And then so they started to open up the country a little bit, and the influence started coming in, bro. I mean, there's dudes out in like in China, like my boy Dars, bro. Like this dude's like fitted, bro. Like he looks like he's a homeboy, dog. Like that's how they dress. That's their style, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, I was just still cutting, doing some classes with the other barber at the shop and stuff, and then my boy was doing some stuff going back and forth to Hong Kong and China, bringing up some products. And then so we kind of teamed up on that stuff. Like I was giving him some pomades, giving him some stuff to push through, and he would go to Hong Kong, take it in, and then we, slide it into China and then start to influence the industry out there. At the same time, companies were always trying to get into the area, right? Because it was already being influenced a lot, especially by Instagram and all that stuff, because they had learned how to get VPNs and be able to get through those blocks and see our Instagram and see our Facebook and stuff. So after about a year of us kind of doing that whole kind of network thing, we basically had our first 2 week tour. And because I had already helped them and I was already in doing the stuff, I had already gone back to teach at the barber college that I had graduated from. Mm-hmm. And so I had already kind of that experience with the other experience, working at the shop. So that's how I ended up going out to China for the first time. I got invited. That tour was sponsored by a company called Mizutani, which they make shears, by Ruzel, and then Wall jumped onto it as a like ambassador sponsor. So it was that's how it happened. So after about 2 months of us kind of going back and forth, and then he got Wall to do the tour with us. They gave me a call up and they're like, "Hey, who are you? And what are you doing?" And basically we went from there.
So you actually have contact with the owner of Wall?
With the vice president is a Wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
so
dope.
Well, there's like because Wall's big, bro. It's like super big. There's like 4 different
branches,
divisions.
Right? Divisions.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, so we're part of the pro division. So we have our guy is a Wall, and then they have all the other people kind of do their own divisions as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it was cool experience, bro. Like it was dope because it was either like a sink or swim, right? Like they're like, who are you? We never heard of you before. But if you want to do it, go ahead, we'll let you do it. And then so when I came back, she was just like, "Yo, like, we liked what we heard, like, you did a good job, so like we want to offer you a position on the team." So that's cool. how it went down there. But it took a while, bro. It wasn't like it took a minute, bro. It took like 6 months, kind of going back and forth. I had to do like a video, and then it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And see, and people on my Snapchat, I don't have a lot of barbers on there. I got a lot of just friends and people that ain't barbers. So my barber outlet on Snapchat is very low. So when I had posted that I'm just got put on with Gamma, they're like, what is the guy talking about? Is he a sales rep now? So they didn't get it. But when I went to Instagram and posted it that I'm now teamed up with Gamma, they're gonna be rocking with me. They want to see, I talked to the owner of Gamma. He wants to see me do big things. He wants to invest in me and this and that. And so that the Instagram knew what I was talking about,
Yeah.
When it came to my Snapchat, they didn't understand. And what I try to tell people is that when you get put on a team like this, as in Wall, Babylus, Gamma, whatever, to a barber, that's like getting drafted to the NBA. Like, like that's what we work for. We're not sponsored by a little company that's barely coming up and we got to, you know, throw them out. These are big companies. And, you know, I actually had Austin from Gamma. You know, we did the podcast, and ever since then, you know, after this was over, we linked up on a phone call, and, you know, it was talked for another about 30 minutes, 40 minutes on him wanting to invest his time in me with Gamma. And basically, you know, I said, I want to be put on, but I don't want to be put on where I'm trying to sell stuff. And I'm not that. I want something good out of this. He goes, no, we got you. He goes, you know, once this is all over, you know, sending you to the shows, we want you to start talking, and you know, we're behind you 100%. And that was like, I knew it was real because it wasn't no middleman. It wasn't like, oh, you're on now, you know. It was from the owner. Gamma was like, you're rocking with us. Welcome to our family and team. So, you know, that was a thing that's what I'm getting out of this whole quarantine, man, is you know, when I come out, I'm part of a team, and there's going to be so much coming out, videos, traveling, and it's going to be dope, man. You know, still waiting for my package, man. Shit. Austin, man.
Congratulations.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. But yeah, he told me to go on the website, pick everything out. And I was like, you know, coming from nothing and, you know, having things given to me, I always take it to heart. So when he was like, go ahead and pick, I'm like, for real? Are you serious? Like, all right. I want that. So that was pretty cool, man. Like he shot me it should be coming in a blow dryer, and you know, the blow dryer that I use is the $8 blow dryer from Walmart. It's just one heat. That's it. I burn people's necks. And I think they see that because that was the first thing he said. Get your ass a blow dryer. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, man. Nah, man. So, you know, we have a good team, bro. Our coordinator, she's awesome, bro. She's bro, and I mean, there's nothing more that I want that I can ask from a team. Mm-hmm. You know, our coordinator, dude, she inspires me, bro. She inspires the whole team. I can see it, bro, and she's awesome. Like, she coordinates these calls with us, bro, and tries to check on us. And it's good to be part of that team, dude. And you know, Walt takes care of us as well, like, very nicely, bro. We got like our names on clippers. Anyways, bro, I'm not gonna.
No, but that's dude, dope. That's dope.
They take care of us very well as well, man.
But by you explaining that right there, it kind of gives barbers to see that it is possible to get put on a big team, and it just takes grinding, and you know, doors open up. It does not stop as a barber. If you want it, you got to go get it to be a part of these big companies, you know.
Yeah, but times have changed though, bro. From when I got on, like, I feel like I was like one of the last barbers or that got on with like my like grinding kind of like from all the network because I'm not a big Instagram dude. Like, I'm older, right? Like, I'm not. That's no excuse by all means. Like, I'm getting into the Instagram game. Like, by all means, like, don't count me out. Right. Yeah, you know. So like I have to get it going, right? Because why? Because that's relevant right now. At the time when we were coming up, we had to go out there and shake hands and kiss babies, just like my boy Cookie said. You gotta shake hands and kiss babies, bro.
No, and you're right though, because you didn't have it this easy. You know, some of us that, I mean, you've been in the game, and then you take someone like me that just started Instagram 3 months ago, and boom, popped. Like, how did he get put on so fast? You know, it's just an example of that how times change, because when you came up and when you're coming up and Wall looked at you, it wasn't because of social media. It's because, like you said, you were hitting these events, shaking hands, you know, and making moves, footwork moves, not Instagram or social media moves.
And the whole thing is that I was doing it honestly, bro, just because of the love of the industry. Like, literally, like one of the first things that we did in 2013 was to go to that show in Vegas. Like, we went out there and like we had so much inspiration, and like going back to see that we like the people that were there during that time a lot of them are big. Like I was in the same class with Julius before he was on the Wall team. Like, he don't remember me, and like, you know, I remember them pulling him or the you know, giving him his deal for his class sheet, right? Like, but like, he's done so much more, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but honestly, like, we traveled around to hit these classes with no other intent other than just having a good time and then trying to learn and trying to do all that stuff with no intention, bro. Like, no like ulterior motive. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like some of the barbers I'm not gonna say too much. I feel like some people try to use the barber to make themselves some type of famous or something like that. You know what I mean? And they kind of change that game up and the dynamics a little bit. So then, go with the intention of trying to build that whatever thing that they're trying to do at the show. Like I was at a show in 2014 in LA, and like these chicks, bro, that came up to us, they were dressed really nice and like, like short skirts, the whole deal. And they were like, "We're barber dolls." And I'm like, "Yo, what's a barber doll?" And she was just like, "Oh, and then like you go to their website, bro, and it's just like all crazy, bro. I'm just like, yo, like what are you doing? Like, but anyway, you do see things like that. I mean, still here and there, but I mean, the reality is that we did all that because we wanted to learn more, we wanted to see more, and we saw the industry evolve, and we were part of it, bro. How many barber? Are you a shop owner? Like, do you own a shop or you rent a chair?
No, well, see, when I got my license 6 years ago, I opened up a shop out here in Lodi, California. I did that for 6 years, but I just got tired of that. It was taken away from my barbering, and I was too busy trying to run a business. And, like I said, I fell in love with barbering. I love cutting, but I wasn't able to do it. Personally, me, I wasn't able to. I was putting more money out than I was making, and it was just getting the barbers. It was stressed out, So I just stepped away. I barely closed my shop about a year ago. So my boy hit me up in Sacramento. So now I'm over there, and all this happened. So I was building back up, but then this happened. So now I'm back down.
It happens back, yeah. That's what's up, bro.
But I'm enjoying it now, though. Be able to just have my booth rent. I mean, it's not for everybody. Everybody wants to be shop owners, and that wasn't for me. I did it for 6 years. I tried it, but now just being worried about myself, my booth rent, I kind of like that feeling, it's way better for me, personally.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I have this shop here, bro, and it's cool. And then we have the shop in China as well. So we have
so you do have a shop in China.
Yeah. So it's kind of like what's the word? A subsidiary. It's owned by people in China with, and then I'm partners with them, and so we have the name, and so basically they're named the same name. So it's a Barber and Co in Guangzhou, and then a Barber and Co here in San Jose. So
that's cool.
we're actually opening actually they're opening. They just called me the other day and told me they're doing a second location in downtown Guangzhou, bro, in China.
How many times have you been out there?
Man, shit. I was looking at my passport the other day, bro, and I've probably been back and forth like 8 times in the last 2 years. 3 years? 3 years now.
That's dope. So I like that.
Probably been to like probably every major city in China, probably like 20 different cities. So they'll give us tours, bro. So we'll start in like, southern China and then fly around everywhere, bro. Planes, trains, and automobiles is dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. Nice. But
so what I want to say, man, is we're gonna get to wrapping it up. I want to say thank you for even considering to be on this podcast with me. But my thing is, as an educator and being in the game for so long, for these barbers that are coming out of barber college, what wisdom do you have for them to be prepared for the barber industry? What kind of advice would you give them, as in promoting, as in grinding? Like, what would you tell them if they asked you that?
Wow, man, that's a tough one, bro, because there's so many things that I can sit here and say, I guess.
Yeah.
I know a lot of my friends are going to sit here and say, like, why did you say that? Why didn't you say this? Or why didn't you say that? Or,
yeah. Well, there's so much to say. I mean, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You could write a book about advice for the barber industry. But just to summarize it up and to, these young kids, they don't like to sit here and listen for a while. They just go, they need a fast explanation of this barber industry.
Explanation. You always have to remain a student, bro. Even me now, learning, I have to learn Instagram. Like, I'm not tech savvy. I'm a little older, but again, that's no excuse, right? Like, I have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, and then just to kind of identify that, knowing what you have to work on and like actually work on it. Like, hold yourself accountable to it and say like, yo, I'm gonna do it. And then the other thing is to have that courage, bro. The courage to like be like, all right, I'm gonna do it today, right now. I'm gonna take that guy. I'm gonna do that cut that I'm not comfortable with. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna give this dude my card. Like, you just gotta do it and get those people in there. You'll be a better barber for it. So
yeah, and I always say that too. Do the footwork still to this day. Footwork will never go out of style as a barber. That means promoting yourself, walking any way you can promote yourself on foot. Make sure to do it, man, because that's a big thing in the industry. It ain't gonna go foot networking will never go nowhere. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Yep.
Social media will phase before footwork.
Yeah, and you, I think you're right, dude. I think that you're right. I think it will drop down, but footwork is something that's always going to be there because it shows that genuine kind of touch, bro. Yeah. That kind of like, yo, hey, how you doing? Like, you know, I heard guys say that, you know, don't go out with a guy who wouldn't go have a beer with you, bro. Like, it shows some type of, genuine character or personality, you know?
Yeah.
Go out there and be able to.
And that's the same thing with this podcast. Like, I was getting my views on my Apple podcast and Soundcloud, they're up there. But I feel like with this and being able to see you and me talking gives you that genuine feel like, oh, he really knows him. It's just not over a phone call. So I feel like my YouTube is probably going to pop off more than my Apple and SoundCloud because, you know, I don't have that platform yet for people to go straight to Apple, you know, go straight to SoundCloud and listen to me. I think when I sat back and looked at it and looked at the video chat and I'm like, you know what? I think this is going to be the way I should go if I want to make a buzz and hit the scene harder because nowadays people are visuals. They want to watch. They want to watch us interact with each other. They want to see your facial expressions. They want to see, you know, they want to see. They don't want to hear no more. Hearing is old school, you know. Podcasts, I listen to podcasts because we're getting older. I'm 32. I'll be 33 in like 5 more days. So, you know, we come from older generation where we rather hear. I can sit in my garage and just listen to podcasts all day.
But we always have to evolve, man, you know, and it's all about change and the industry is about change and we can't expect it to be like what it was before. Like we have to adapt and change, bro. You know what I mean? And that's honestly what it is. And if you don't change, that's when you know, hey man.
And it works the same way. Cause if I was still like I was back then, I would have a 5XT on right now, you know? So I had to go with the flow, man. Cause hey, back then I was just looking at a picture. I brought it up and the shirt was down to my knees and I thought I looked cool. And I'm like, what was I thinking?
Man,
the pants were down. Oh my God.
Wow, man, that's you taking me back, man. I didn't do it that bad, man, but I'm like, man, we used to. I remember back in the day, what was it? We had the white classic Reeboks, right? Yeah. And the everything all ironed up with the white tees, remember that?
Yeah, Fat Farm shoes, K-Swiss.
Nah, it wasn't even that. We used to wear Hush Puppies. Remember that?
Okay.
We used to wear the Stacey Adams.
Stacey Adams.
With the man, that was a.
But San Jose swag's a little different still to this day.
No, so
you guys are still
I grew up in Salinas, bro. So we had a different kind of swag, you know.
Well, I think you guys are even a little bit more under the rocks too on style. Because I've been to Salinas and they're still like, I feel like I'm back in the Boulevard Night movie sometimes over there.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of old guys there, bro. So we kind of grew up in that era. But again, like we kind of came up in a different era, or like even in the environments that we did. So like, I'm not like. We can see how it transcended or like how like being able to talk to somebody, you know, kind of changed that whole deal. So,
I mean, that takes it back to, you have to go with the flow, you know?
No, yeah, you're right, bro. But yeah, man. So down to your knees, huh? Big old white tee. Huh?
Yeah. I think my little camera froze up, man. But you know, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm frozen, so I don't even know. You know, this is how I'm gonna end it, man. So I just want to say thank you, man, for blessing my podcast. And you know, and it was mad love because you turned around and responded to me quick. And thank you for being my second co-host on this podcast, man. I'm frozen right now. I don't know why I look like that, but you know,
it's all good, bro.
Yeah, but Monday, tune in. A barber from your area, I'm sure you know him. Timeless Vic will be joining me on Monday. So.
Okay, awesome. I know who he is, bro. He's up in down in Morgan Hill. Vic is big in the game, man. He's been around even before I was, man, and you know, we used to watch his YouTube videos back in Barber College, and so yeah, man, he's big in the game. He's big in the game. Yeah. So I look forward to hearing that, man.
Yeah, so like I said, I think I'm still frozen, man. I don't even know how that happened, but this is all new to me. But thank you guys, man. And before I go ahead and drop your Instagram so that people can follow you after they see this.
No problem, brother. Hey, thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure. If you want to hit me up on Instagram, it's Cuts by Jose, just spelled out the way it is, CUTSBYJOSE. Follow me, tag me, tell me what you think. Hey, man, appreciate you again, brother. Yeah. Much love.
All love, man. You got so much wisdom, man. We could keep going probably for another whole hour or two, man. So, man. You know, we're going to cut it short, but thank you again. And make sure you guys check this dude out, man. Cuts by Jose. He's doing big things. He's with Wall, and he's quiet, but he's doing big things. So make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys follow him, man. That is episode 17 in the bag with my boy Jose.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot, brother.
Have a good one. Thank you.
You too, brother.
All right.